माइक्रोसॉफ्ट एज्योर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर या फिर AZ-104 की बात करें तो आज की डेट में हर एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ये चाहती है कि उनके पास कुछ ऐसे इंजीनियर्स हो हु नो वेरी वेल अबाउट द कंटेंट ऑफ एज्योर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर। साथ ही साथ अगर आपके पास सर्टिफिकेशन है तो डेफिनेटली आपकी जो वैल्यू है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के अंदर या फिर आप प्लान कर रहे हैं स्विच करने के लिए, सो द सर्टिफिकेशन कैन हेल्प यू। एज यू नो दैट टीच मी क्लाउड ऑलरेडी अपने यूट्यूब चैनल पे मल्टीपल वीडियो, यू कैन से दैट लगभग हर एक टॉपिक पे वीडियो हम क्रिएट कर चुके हैं, अपलोड कर चुके हैं रिलेटेड टू AZ-104। बट आई एम गोइंग टू हेल्प यू टू अंडरस्टैंड अबाउट द क्वेश्चंस। ठीक है, आपको कंटेंट आता है, आपको सर्विसेज इंप्लीमेंट करना आता है, विच इज रियली गुड, क्योंकि आपका जो प्रैक्टिकल पार्ट रहेगा ना वो आपकी जॉब को सिक्योर करेगा, राइट। बट कहीं ना कहीं एग्जामिनेशन के लिए अगर आप प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं तो डेफिनेटली यू शुड नो अबाउट द टाइप्स ऑफ क्वेश्चन। तो हमने एक 51 क्वेश्चन की लिस्ट निकाली है विच इज जेन्युइन क्वेश्चन, और वो लेटेस्ट अभी बिल्कुल, क्योंकि एक्चुअली क्या होता है एज पर माई एक्सपीरियंस, बिकॉज आई हैव ऑलरेडी वर्क विद पियर्सन व्यू, तो जितने भी ग्लोबल लेवल के सर्टिफिकेशन होते हैं ना इनकी सीरीज चलती है। मीन्स जो एग्जामिनेशन में क्वेश्चन आते हैं इनके बहुत सारे मॉडल रहते हैं, बहुत सारे पार्ट रहते हैं क्वेश्चंस के, वो बार बार रिपीट करके मेंशन करते हैं। और ये जो स्लॉट्स रहते हैं एग्जामिनेशन क्वेश्चन के, ये 3 महीने बाद चेंज होते रहते हैं अकॉर्डिंग टू द अपग्रेडेशन ऑफ सर्विसेज। तो हमने जो भी क्वेश्चन ये कलेक्ट किए हैं 50 के ऊपर, ये सभी क्वेश्चन आपके लेटेस्ट वाले मॉड्यूल से रिलेटेड है। तो कहीं ना कहीं अगर आप प्लान कर रहे हो एग्जामिनेशन के लिए, सर्टिफिकेशन के लिए, तो ये जो वीडियो है, ये जो 50 क्वेश्चन है डेफिनेटली विल हेल्प यू। ठीक है, ये जो क्वेश्चन की लिस्ट और आंसर हम शेयर करने वाले, काफी ज्यादा हेल्प मिलेगी। आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि 100% आपको एग्जामिनेशन में क्लियरिटी मिल जाएगी, बट अप टू 60% मार्क्स आप इन 50 क्वेश्चन में पा सकते हैं। बाकी ये पहला पार्ट है, अगर रिस्पॉन्स अच्छा रहा तो विल क्रिएट अनदर वीडियो एज वेल। तो चलिए मूव करते हैं, हम आपको क्वेश्चन और आंसर की लिस्ट पे ले चलते हैं। But before that, if you're new on my YouTube channel, if you're watching my video first time, so please do subscribe your on YouTube channel Teach Me Cloud. Teach Me Cloud हमेशा कोशिश करता है आपको 100% लाइव प्रैक्टिकल बेस्ड वीडियो सीरीज प्रोवाइड करने के लिए, बिना किसी स्टेप को स्किप किए हुए। तो व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू डू, आई एम गोइंग टू ओपन आवर स्क्रीन, मीन्स अपना स्क्रीन पे चलते हैं। ठीक है, एजेंडा बिल्कुल क्लियर है, आपको स्क्रीन पे दिख भी रहा है, Azure AZ-104 रियल एग्जाम क्वेश्चंस एंड आंसर। स्टार्टिंग से बात करें तो जो मॉड्यूल है हमें इस्तेमाल करना है, पहला मॉड्यूल है आपका Azure आइडेंटिटी एंड गवर्नेंस। जैसा कि हम पहले बहुत बार डिस्कस कर चुके हैं, सीरीज स्टार्ट करने के पहले हम आपको कंटेंट शेयर करते हैं, फिर उसके बाद अपने टॉपिक पे जाते हैं। तो ये 5 अलग अलग मॉड्यूल हैं, इंप्लीमेंट, मैनेज स्टोरेज, डिप्लॉय एंड मैनेज कंप्यूट रिसोर्सेज, कॉन्फ़िगर एंड मैनेज वर्चुअल नेटवर्क, मॉनिटर एंड मेंटेन एज्योर रिसोर्सेज। तो ये 5 अलग अलग मॉड्यूल्स हैं, जिन मॉड्यूल्स की हेल्प से हम अपना एग्जामिनेशन क्लियर करेंगे। ठीक है, एग्जाम की डिटेल्स की बात करें तो इन इंडिया लोकेशन यू हैव टू पे अप टू 4,800 रुपीज पर वाउचर माइक्रोसॉफ्ट का, और इसमें आपको 1000 मार्क्स के क्वेश्चन हल करने होंगे, 1000 मार्क्स के क्वेश्चन आपको रिजॉल्व करने होंगे। 70% मैंडेटरी है, 70% आपका मार्क्स आएगा तभी आप पास होंगे। 70% से नीचे हुआ, 65 हुआ, 68 हुआ तो भी वो कंसीडर नहीं किया जाएगा, वो पास में कंसीडर नहीं किया जाएगा। ठीक है, चलिए ये हो गया अपने पास मॉड्यूल। हमें इन्हीं के ऊपर इसी बिहेव के ऊपर हमें क्वेश्चंस की प्रिपरेशन करनी है। कंप्यूट से 20 से 25%, नेटवर्क में 20 से 25%, मॉनिटरिंग से 10 से 15%, इम्प्लीमेंट स्टोरेज से 15 से 20%, और एक्टिव डायरेक्टरी से 15 से 20% का क्वेश्चन आएगा। आई एम गोइंग टू प्रोसीड वन बाय वन। स्टार्ट करते हैं। पहले मॉड्यूल की बात करें, विच चॉइस करेक्टली डिस्क्राइब एज्योर एक्टिव डायरेक्टरी। ठीक है ना, आपके पास 3 ऑप्शन दिखाई पड़ रहे हैं। Azure AD कैन बी रिक्वायर्ड थ्रू LDAP, Azure AD इज प्राइमरली एन आइडेंटिटी सॉल्यूशन, Azure AD यूसेज ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल यूनिट। ठीक है, ये क्वेश्चन इसमें ये पुट अप कर रहा है कि इसमें से, इन तीनों में से कौन सा ऐसा पार्ट है जो आपके Azure एक्टिव डायरेक्टरी को अच्छे तरीके से डिस्क्राइब कर रहा है। बहुत ही बेसिक से बात करें तो Azure AD रिक्वायर्ड LDAP, तो LDAP का कोई कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है। Azure AD का पोर्टल अगर आप ओपन करेंगे, जो कि हमने वीडियोस में प्रोवाइड किए हैं, Azure AD के पोर्टल को अगर आप ओपन करते हैं ना, तो इट विल नॉट गिव यू एनी ऑप्शंस रिलेटेड टू द Azure LDAP. Even we are unable to find the options related to organizational unit. We don't have any option to create organizational unit over Azure portal, right? So it means that the right answer is Azure AD is primarily an identity solution because the only Azure AD service can help us. We don't have option to manage organizational unit, or we don't have option to configure any kinds of LDAP. So this is the question 1. So I hope you understand about the concept with the proper description. So next question, what term, the second question is, what term defines a dedicated and trusted instance of Azure Active Directory? Azure Tenant, Identity, Azure AD Connect. Both are a part of our Azure Active Directory, but tenant is basically related to the dedicated and trusted instance of Azure Active Directory. So we just need to go with Azure Tenant. This is the right answer. Number 3, your users want to sign in into devices, applications, and services from anywhere, right? And user want to sign in by using an organizational work or school account instead of personal account. What should you do? So enable Azure, enable the device in Azure AD, join the device to Azure AD, register the device with Azure AD. So definitely we need to proceed with join the device to Azure AD. It's related to the Intune, right? With the help of Azure AD, we are able to enroll our devices to Microsoft Intune portal. Then Azure AD will need to create a user, and by using the same user, you need to join our on-premises device, and you should enroll the on-premises device with the help of Intune, and you can manage and control from anywhere. This is the correct answer. You need to go with join the device to Azure AD. Next. Another question, what type of user account allow an external organizational to access your resources? We have 3 different options: a contributor user account for each member of the team, and an administrator account for each member of the team, a guest user account for each member of external team. So definitely, if you have a different organization, you are working with ABC, and XYZ user or XYZ employee want to access the application or services from your user account, from your Azure portal, then definitely you need to create a guest user account and share the credentials, share the permission with your guest user account. So the correct answer is a guest user account for each member of the external team. This is the correct answer. Next, what kind of group account can you create so you can apply the same permission to all group members? So we have option of security group, we can proceed with the Azure bulk group and Microsoft 365 group. So definitely we have 2 different options to create a group. One is security group and another is Office 365 group, right? We don't have any option like as a Azure AD bulk group. We don't have any option. So security group is applicable whenever we apply the policy, whenever you apply the permission, same permission to multiple user, then security user. You need to create a security user, add multiple users in security group and apply the permission. So definitely we can proceed with security group. This is the correct answer. Next, which Azure AD role enable a user to manage all groups in your team's tenant and also assign other administrator roles, right? So definitely global administrator, security administrator and user administrator. So we always proceed with user administrator, global administrator. This is the correct answer. Next, the company financial controller want to be notified whenever the company is halfway to spending the money allocated for cloud services. Which approach support this request? So we have 3 different options: create an Azure reservation, create a budget and spending threshold, create a management group. Definitely related to the pricing, related to the cost management, we always proceed with create a budget by using the properties of our subscription. You just need to open the subscription properties. It will give you the option of create budget and configure the limit, spending limit, and create it. Next, the company financial another controller wants to identify which billing department each Azure resources belongs to, which approach enable the requirements, right? So in this case, track resource usage in a separate sheet, place the resources in different region, apply a tag to each resources resource that include the associated billing department. So this is the correct answer that you need to provide in case of final examination. Number next, which option preserve data residency and offers comprehensive compliance and resiliency options? So in this case, Azure Active Directory Connect, region and subscription. So definitely it's correlated to the region. The correct answer is regions. Next, there are several Azure policies that need to be applied to a new branch office. What's the best approach? Create management group, create a policy initiative, and create a policy definition. So definitely, whenever you establish another branch, if you wanted to open the branch and you wanted to share the existing services or existing subscription, so in this case it's our responsibility. We need to create a policy initiative. With the help of policy initiative, we are able to assign the policy to our another tenant. Next, to satisfy the finance team request for billing by department, multiple resource groups have been created and the resource tag applied. What's the next step? Create a management group, create a group policy, Azure policy, review the Azure compliance page. So definitely Azure policy. Again, the correct answer is create an Azure policy that can help you to manage the to fulfill the requirement. Next, another question: how you can ensure that only cost-effective virtual machines SKU size are deployed? So predictably inspect the deployment to see which SKU stock keeping unit size are used. Second option, create an Azure RBAC role to rollback that defines the allowed virtual machines SKU. Create a policy in Azure policy that specify the allowed SKU. Definitely we need to proceed with this particular option. Create a policy in Azure policy that specifies the allowed SKU size. Number next, which option can you use to manage governance across multiple Azure subscriptions? So definitely management group, Azure initiative, resource group, and the correct answer is management group. Number next, the another part, you have a 3 virtual machine, VM1, VM2 and VM3 in a resource group. A new domain is hired and they need to be able to modify setting on the virtual machine 3. They shouldn't be able to make changes to virtual machine A1 and 2. How you can implement RBAC to minimize the administrative overhead? So we have 3 different options. Assign the admin to the contributor role on the group. Assign the admin role to contributor role for virtual machine 1, and move virtual machine 3 to a new resource group and assign to the admin to the owner role on VM3. So definitely assign the admin role to contributor role on virtual machine 3. You need to decide and select the virtual machine 3 and assign the administrative role for only and only virtual machine 3. Next question, explain the main difference between Azure role and Azure Active Directory, Azure AD roles. So Azure role, 3 different options. Azure role apply to the to Azure resources. Azure AD role apply to Azure AD resources such as user, group and domain. Definitely, as per the name suggests, 2 different types of roles are available. One role that you can apply to the resources, like you created virtual machine and you wanted to assign the role for Active Directory user. That user can manage only the RDP. That user can only turn on the machine. He unable to make any changes like as adding RAM, changing the hardware configuration. So these types of activity basically managed by the resource group and resource role and the another is Active Directory role. So this is the correct answer. Next, proceed. Another question, which storage solution replicates data to secondary region and maintains 6 copies of the data? Definitely, as we discussed in our storage services, we have a multiple way to create our storage account: LRS, GRS, RSGRS, right? ZRS. These all are the options that can help us to manage and create the virtual machine. So in this case, the first option, if we talk about the options that we have, LRS, read access geo redundant storage, and zone redundant storage. So definitely GRS come into the picture, because the GRS can help you to create 6 copy of single data, and LRS can help you to create only 3 copy of single data with the help of RAID 5. Next, the admin team needs to know the requirements for a storage account name. To that extent, does a storage account name need to be unique? So in this case, we have 3 different options. The name must be unique within the containing resource group. The name must be unique within the organization's subscriptions. The name must be globally unique. So definitely you need to choose the unique name globally, not related to the resource group, not related to the organization, because the storage account can work for worldwide, for global. Number next, the next option, what's the best storage solution to support the requirements of the manufacturing division? LRS, ZRS, ZRS. So we always proceed with LRS, because it will give you 95.99% of security, and it will not charge much in compare of ZRS and ZRS. The correct answer is local redundant storage, LRS. Next, which virtual machine is best for running a network appliance? Memory optimized, compute optimized virtual machine, and storage optimized machine. So definitely, if you want to plan to set up any kind of appliance, you wanted to set up any kind of services for organization, you always proceed with compute optimized virtual machine, because the meaning of compute optimized, it will help you to manage the RAM and processor. And you know that in case of virtual machines management, the RAM and processor can play the unique role for the speed and maintenance. Correct answer is compute optimized virtual machine. Number next, for the security requirement, how can you connect to Azure Linux virtual machines and install software? We have option configure a guest configuration on the virtual machine, create a custom script extension, and configure Azure Bastion. So definitely Bastion can help you, because the Bastion can help you to access your any kind of virtual machine, Linux or Windows, directly with the help of browser without using any SSH or RDP protocol. So always we proceed with Bastion service. What effect do the default network security setting have on a new virtual machine? Outbound requests are allowed, inbound is allowed only from within the virtual network. No outbound and inbound requests are allowed. There are no restriction, all outbound and inbound requests are allowed. Definitely not. Whenever we create our virtual machine, you have to decide the inbound, but outbound fully allowed, right? Whenever we create our virtual machine, you are able to find the outbound basically allow for an entire 65,535 logical port, but inbound you need to decide, like you want to open port number 80 or you wanted to open port number 443 or 3389 to access the RDP. So we can proceed with outbound requests are allowed, inbound traffic is allowed only from within the virtual network that you want to apply. Next, another question, how can you ensure more virtual machines are deployed for the admin team when the CPU usage 75% consumed? Manually increase the instance count, okay, change the CPU percentage to 50%, enable the auto scaling option. So definitely we always proceed with auto scaling. In case of auto scaling, once you activate the auto scaling part, it will automatically assign the virtual machine according to the threshold of processor that you configure in our auto scaling setup or auto scaling service. So the correct answer is enable the auto scaling option. Number next, which virtual machine scale set feature can be configured to add more DevOps machine during peak production? So schedule based, auto scale, metric based. So definitely we can proceed with schedule. The correct answer is schedule based role. What type of scaling can you use to increase the CPU specify for your existing virtual machine scale set instance? horizontal scaling, vertical scaling, and load balancing. So definitely we can proceed with vertical scaling because you wanted to make a changes with our existing virtual machine. You wanted to increase the RAM and processor. And as we discussed in our session of VMSS, we have two different types of scaling. One is horizontal and another is vertical. Horizontal, in case of horizontal, it will add new virtual machine. And in case of vertical scaling, it will increase the configuration within the existing virtual machine. The correct answer is vertical scaling, sorry.